From fabled classics to futuristic wonders, Jerry Seinfeld's Porsche obsession is absolutely unmatched. Ready for the 20 most impressive rides? 20. 1964 Porsche 911. Jerry's earliest 911 harks back to Porsche's original formula, a sleek rear-engine coupe that made history. This 1964 model is widely recognized as one of the first 911s ever produced, sporting that iconic 2.0-liter, air-cooled flat six producing around 130 horsepower. Back in the 60s, that was plenty of oomph, especially when combined with minimal electronics. The lightweight construction meant a top speed near 130 miles per hour, impressive for its day. One big plus is that it established the timeless 911 silhouette. A drawback is its tail-happy handling in slick conditions, thanks to all that weight in the back. Still, enthusiasts see that quirk as part of its charm. The fact that Jerry keeps it in pristine condition shows his dedication to preserving automotive history. Rumor has it he loves the raw, unfiltered drive that only an early 911 can offer. It's a piece of rolling heritage and a testament to Porsche's DNA. Number 19, 1989. Porsche 911 Speedster. The 1989 Speedster pays tribute to Porsche's original 356 Speedster with a distinct, low-slung windshield and minimalist top. Jerry's version, likely sporting a bright color like Guard's red, turns heads everywhere it goes. Power comes from a 3.2-liter flat six generating around 214 horsepower, providing that classic air-cooled performance without too much modern complexity. One notable quirk is the manual folding soft top, which can be cumbersome when a sudden downpour strikes. Critics may call it impractical, but fans adore its pure open-air character. The Speedster's real charm is its rarity. Porsche produced fewer of these than standard 911s. That exclusivity can drive up maintenance costs, as parts are scarce. Yet the thrill of driving one is undeniable, connecting you to the road in a way only classic machinery can. Jerry's passion for this Speedster reflects his love of nostalgia. It's a perfect blend of heritage, style, and pure driving joy, even if rain clouds make you hustle to secure that top. 18. 1973. Porsche 911 Carrera R. Revered by enthusiasts, the Carrera RS is the ultimate classic 911. Its 2.7-liter flat six, producing around 210 horsepower, might sound modest today, but in 1973, it was a game-changer. Weighing less than most of its contemporaries, it achieved remarkable agility. The signature ducktail spoiler was the first of its kind, improving rear downforce and giving the car a distinctive look. Some critics disliked its stripped-down interior, calling it overpriced for having less trim. Yet that lightweight focus helped secure racing victories that cemented its legend. Jerry's RS is said to be meticulously maintained, preserving those thin steel panels and minimal soundproofing that made it famous. Despite its age, it can still outrun many modern sports cars on twisty roads, thanks to that perfect balance. You might call it tail-happy, but true fans see that as an endearing quirk. For Jerry, owning one means preserving the moment Porsche decided performance came first, and everything else was secondary. 17. 1958. Porsche 356. Speedster, famed for its lightweight simplicity, the 356 Speedster captured the hearts of American drivers in the 1950s. Jerry's 1958 model is rumored to have sparked controversy over authenticity, though such disputes are not uncommon with classics. Beneath its sleek body sits a 1.6-liter four-cylinder engine, delivering around 75 horsepower, modest by modern standards but thrilling in a car weighing about 1,700 pounds. The low windshield and Spartan cockpit make it feel more like a rolling adventure than a commuter. On the downside, it's not exactly comfortable for taller drivers or longer trips. Still, the Speedster's cinematic presence and historical significance overshadow minor quirks. Whether its originality is questioned or not, it stands as an icon that introduced Porsche to a broader U.S. market. Jerry's love for it likely stems from its pure, unfiltered driving charm. Even amid controversy, it remains a treasure from a golden era of motoring, bridging nostalgia and performance in one swooping design. 16. 1996 Porsche 993 Turbo. The 993 Turbo is famed as the last air-cooled 911 Turbo, sealing its place in Porsche legend. Armed with a twin-turbocharged 3.6-liter flat-six, producing around 400 horsepower, it can rocket from 0 to 60 in roughly 4 seconds. Unlike older turbos, the 993 features all-wheel drive for better grip, making it more manageable. Critics might note that the front can feel heavier than earlier models, but most drivers appreciate its balanced performance. Jerry admires that it merges old-school character with a dash of modern reliability. Air-cooled purists covet the 993 for its iconic silhouette, complete with round headlights and that classic roofline. Maintenance can be steep, as parts for air-cooled engines aren't cheap, but the experience is well worth the price. It's said Jerry enjoys driving it when he wants turbo punch without sacrificing comfort. Above all, the 993 Turbo embodies Porsche's transition from raw to refined, capturing an era that many enthusiasts consider the sweet spot. 15. 1986 Porsche 959. One of the first true supercars, the 959 was astonishing in the mid-80s. Its twin-turbo 2.85-liter flat-six made about 444 horsepower, propelling it to nearly 200 miles per hour. Revolutionary tech, like adjustable suspension and advanced all-wheel drive, made it seem decades ahead of its time. This machine was so futuristic that it had trouble passing U.S. regulations, leading to legendary stories about owners waiting years to drive theirs. Jerry's 959, reportedly in immaculate condition, underscores his appreciation for boundary-pushing engineering. A drawback is the astronomical cost of parts, especially those unique to the 959's complex systems. Some might say it lacks the raw charm of older air-cooled Porsches, but that's balanced by a ride quality unmatched by its 1980s peers. It's the rare supercar that aimed for comfort, too. Most fans see it as a milestone, bridging old-school craftsmanship with cutting-edge innovation. For Jerry, the 959 represents Porsche's relentless pursuit of perfection, no matter the era. Number 14. 1970 Porsche 917. The 917 was Porsche's ticket to legendary status at Le Mans. Its flat 12 engine could push out over 600 horsepower, dominating tracks in the early 1970s. Jerry's 917 might feature the iconic Gulf livery, a racing staple that symbolizes Porsche's golden age. On the plus side, it's an unstoppable beast on the circuit. The downside? It's basically undrivable on public roads. These were fragile, purpose-built machines with minimal safety features, making them risky for casual outings. Some question if such a car belongs in a personal collection or a museum. Jerry's stance is clear. The 917 is a pinnacle of engineering that shaped Porsche's future. Owning one is like holding a piece of motorsport history, even if it roars louder than a stand-up audience on free drink night. For racing buffs, the 917 is the holy grail that redefined endurance success. For Jerry, it's proof he doesn't just love Porsches, he loves the thrill of competition. 13. 2015 Porsche 918. Spyder, a high-tech marvel, the 918 Spyder blends a 4.6-liter V8 with electric motors, generating a wild 887 horsepower. Hitting 60 miles per hour in around 2.5 seconds, it's brutally quick yet surprisingly efficient in electric-only mode. As part of the Holy Trinity with the LaFerrari and McLaren P1, it set new standards for hybrid hypercars. Critics point to the cost of maintenance and complex hybrid components, but owners rave about its performance and relative day-to-day usability. Jerry's interest likely stems from seeing Porsche innovate while staying true to its roots. The 918's active aerodynamics constantly adjust to optimize downforce or reduce drag. This advanced tech underscores Porsche's knack for merging engineering and driving bliss. Some die-hard fans prefer raw, air-cooled machines, but the 918 shows Porsche can embrace cutting-edge technology without losing that magic. For Jerry, it's proof that even an old-school purist can love a futuristic supercar that reshapes what a Porsche can be. 12. 1966 Porsche 911. This early 911 captures Porsche's transition from the 356 era, retaining a short wheelbase layout that makes driving both exciting and tricky. Its 2.0-liter flat six pumps out around 130 horsepower, enough punch for the mid-1960s. Fans adore the pure, uncluttered design, no big spoilers or modern tech overshadowing the mechanical experience. The flip side? These early cars are known for sudden oversteer if you lift off the throttle mid-corner. Some consider that a flaw, while others see it as character. Jerry's 1966 model is a testament to his love for the brand's foundational years. If it's painted in a rare color, it becomes even more desirable. Although it can be finicky in colder climates or stop-and-go traffic, the reward comes when you find an open road. The vintage steering feel and classic engine sound recall a simpler time. For Jerry, it's a direct line back to Porsche's essence, reminding him why the 911 became a legend in the first place. 11. 1994. Porsche 911 Turbo S Flakbau. Few models are rarer than the 964 Turbo S Flakbau, also known as the slant nose. With fewer than 100 produced, it's a unicorn among 911S. Jerry's version may house a 3.6-liter turbocharged flat six, delivering around 380 horsepower, paired with iconic pop-up headlights reminiscent of Porsche's 935 racers. Some purists dislike the flattened front, preferring the classic round headlights, but the slant nose stands out in any gathering. Drawbacks include sky-high replacement costs for unique body panels and limited availability of specialized parts. Yet its exclusivity is a badge of honor for collectors. Inside, it's a typical 90s Porsche cockpit, straightforward and driver-focused. Jerry appreciates how it merges performance with a bold design statement, a departure from the usual 911 shape. Whether it's an acquired taste or instant love, the Flakbau stokes conversation at car shows. For Seinfeld, that quirkiness is part of the charm, proving Porsche's willingness to experiment within the 911's legendary framework. 10. 1979 Porsche 935 race car. Porsche's 935 was a terrifying turbocharged machine built to dominate endurance racing. Based on the 911 Turbo, it had outrageous bodywork for improved aerodynamics, often sporting a whale-tail spoiler and massive front intakes. Horsepower could exceed 600 in racing trim, granting staggering speed on tracks like Daytona and Le Mans. Jerry's 935 exemplifies his fascination with motorsport history, though it's a far cry from a street-legal cruiser. Many question whether such a track monster belongs in a private garage or a museum. Maintenance is expensive, and you certainly can't just take it on a leisurely Sunday drive. But the 935's success story, countless wins and a fearsome reputation, makes it a cornerstone of Porsche's racing legacy. For Jerry, owning it means preserving a piece of automotive lore that shaped how the 911 was perceived. It's also a conversation starter, showing how far Porsche could push the 911 chassis when victory was on the line. 9. 1955 Porsche 550 Spyder. Synonymous with James Dean's tragic crash, the 550 Spyder is both revered and shrouded in myth. Jerry's 550 captures that same lightweight, mid-engine format that made it a giant killer on racetracks. With around 110 horsepower and a weight near 1,200 pounds, it outmaneuvered bigger rivals in the 1950s. This minimalism extends to the cockpit, which barely accommodates two people and offers next to no creature comforts. Some label it dangerous due to limited safety features and the rear-biased handling. Yet that raw nature is precisely why collectors adore it. A well-preserved 550 can command astronomical sums, reflecting its racing pedigree and pop culture status. Jerry's passion for the 550 likely ties back to Porsche's rebellious spirit, proving that innovation and agility can trump raw power. While some whisper about curses linked to Dean's ill-fated car, that only fuels the 550's allure. For Jerry, it's a timeless icon that paved the way for Porsche's mid-engine future. 8. 1962 Porsche 356B. A charming evolution of Porsche's first production model, the 356B offered improved brakes and a slightly modernized look. Jerry's 1962 example might feature elegant pastel paint that evokes classic European style. Powered by a flat-4 engine pushing around 75 to 90 horsepower, it's more about joyrides than raw speed. Yet the 356B remains an icon that helped build Porsche's name in the US. For those seeking track thrills, it might feel tame, but that's not its purpose. The interior is comfortable enough for weekend getaways, though tall drivers could find it cramped. Maintenance can be tricky, as some parts are scarce. Still, the 356B's gentle nature is what endears it to many. Jerry appreciates its vintage appeal and the story it tells about Porsche's formative years. Where modern sports cars chase horsepower figures, the 356B focuses on simplicity and charm, a reminder that driving pleasure can come from more than just speed. Number 7-1998 Porsche Boxster First Generation. Often called the car that saved Porsche financially, the first-gen Boxster introduced a mid-engine platform to a broader audience. Sporting a 2.5-liter flat-six with around 201 horsepower, it was no rocket ship but offered fantastic balance. Some purists dismissed it as a poor man's Porsche, yet it revitalized the brand and paved the way for more accessible models. Jerry's appreciation for this Boxster likely comes from its historical impact rather than pure performance. Downsides include the dreaded IMS bearing failure that can be catastrophic if unchecked. Still, the Boxster's approachable handling, convertible fun, and relative affordability made it a hit. Its interior, while simple, offered modern comforts that earlier models lacked. It might lack the prestige of a 911, but it remains a pillar in Porsche's evolution. For Seinfeld, owning one is a nod to the company's survival story, demonstrating how Porsche merged practicality with sports car DNA to secure its future. 6. 1970 Porsche 908/03. Built for winding tracks like the Targa Florio and Nürburgring, the 908/03 was brutally efficient. Its lightweight design and mid-mounted flat-8 engine, delivering around 350 horsepower, made it quick and agile on twisty circuits. Jerry's 908/03 reflects his deep love for Porsche's racing legacy. Downsides? It's purely a track weapon. No comfort features, barely any bodywork, and a zero-tolerance approach to errors at speed. Some say it's a museum piece, but Jerry sees it as a living testament to risk-taking innovation. If you're lucky, you might catch him displaying it at a vintage racing event. Though it lacks the mass appeal of a road car, the 908/03 stands as an engineering triumph. Every corner can be tackled with surgical precision, though the open cockpit offers minimal safety by modern standards. For Jerry, it embodies a spirit of daring that defined Porsche's greatest competition years, pushing boundaries to conquer some of the world's toughest tracks. 5-1989 Porsche 930 Turbo. This final year 930 Turbo carries the aura of the original Widowmaker, known for explosive turbo lag and a tendency to snap oversteer. Its 3.3-liter flat-six makes about 282 horsepower in US form, harnessed through a 5-speed gearbox. Despite older tech, it was a rocket in its day. Jerry's love for the 930 might lie in its rawness. No traction control, just your skill against that boost. Critics argue the turbo lag is outdated, but fans relish the sudden surge once the turbo spools. The wide rear fenders and whale-tail spoilers scream 80s cool, giving the car an unforgettable silhouette. Like many classics, maintenance can be pricey, and you must respect the car's quirks. Yet it remains a milestone in Porsche's forced induction history. For Jerry, it's a time capsule of the era when Porsche took a 911, bolted on a turbo, and changed automotive performance forever. Number 4-1963 Porsche 904 GTS sleek fiberglass bodywork and a mid-engine layout define the 904 GTS, a Porsche race car made street legal for homologation. Jerry's 904 might feature the 4-cylinder variant at around 180 horsepower, though 6- and 8-cylinder versions were also crafted. Despite modest power, the lightweight build delivers thrilling agility. Critics find its interior too Spartan, but this was meant for competition, not comfort. With racing success at events like the Targa Florio, The 904 cemented Porsche's dedication to innovative engineering. Jerry treasures it for that daring spirit, a marker of when Porsche pushed boundaries in design and performance. Maintenance can be challenging due to its rarity, and it's cramped inside, but fans argue that's part of the charm. It set the stage for future mid-engine efforts like the 917. For Jerry, the 904 GTS is a shining link between old-school craftsmanship and the advanced prototypes that followed, proving that sometimes less is indeed more. Number 3, 1959 Porsche 718 RSK. An evolution of the 550 Spyder, the 718 RSK was another feather in Porsche's racing cap. It improved handling, aerodynamics, and power output, typically around 142 horsepower from its four-cylinder boxer. Lightweight construction allowed it to punch above its weight class, claiming podium finishes at events like Le Mans. The open cockpit and low-slung body give it a purposeful stance, though comfort is near zero. Jerry appreciates the 718 RSK for its significance in mid-engine design, a stepping stone to the 904 and beyond. Drawbacks include scarcity of parts, minimal safety features, and an unapologetically cramped interior. Yet those flaws melt away on a track where the RSK's balance shines. It's a piece of heritage that underscores Porsche's knack for winning through efficiency and nimble engineering. For Jerry, owning a 718 RSK reaffirms his passion for cars that break conventions, proving once again that big results can come from relatively small packages. Number 2-1949 Porsche 356/2 Gemünd. These are the earliest Porsches, handcrafted in an Austrian sawmill shortly after World War II. With aluminum bodies and VW-based engines hovering around 40 horsepower, the 356/2 Gemünd models were rudimentary but crucial to Porsche's birth. Jerry's example is among the rarities, reflecting the brand's humble roots. Driving one can feel prehistoric: basic brakes, minimal interior, and barely any creature comforts. Yet it's the genesis of everything Porsche stands for: lightweight engineering, clever design, and racing spirit. Critics question if such a museum-worthy relic should be driven at all. But Jerry believes in experiencing his cars. With so few in existence, even spotting one is a privilege. Yes, it's slow and outdated, but that's part of its charm. For Jerry, it's not about performance figures. It's about owning a tangible piece of the moment Ferry Porsche took a dream and built a company. The 356/2 Gemünd is history on wheels, pure and simple. Number 1, 1955 Porsche 550 RS. The prototype myth, rumored to be a prototype or extremely early model, Jerry's 550 RS sparks endless debate among collectors. Some say it's a simple production car. Others argue it's a developmental gem. Either way, it's priceless. The 550 rupees laid the groundwork for Porsche's mid-engine racing success. A four-cylinder boxer delivering around 110 horsepower doesn't sound menacing, but in a featherweight chassis, it's exhilarating. Potential authenticity issues and high restoration costs breed controversy, yet that only heightens its mystique. Jerry loves the unfiltered drive: no power assist, no modern gizmos, just you and the road. The significance is enormous. These early cars shaped Porsche's endurance dominance. Whether it's truly a prototype or not, it stands as a testament to innovation, triumphing over bigger, more powerful rivals. Jerry's 550 rupees is the pinnacle of his collection, a living slice of Porsche lore that reminds us how a small German upstart took on the world. Jerry Seinfeld's Porsche collection is more than just shiny metal. Each car tells a story of risk, triumph, and passion. Hope you found this video both fun and informative. If you want more intriguing car stories, make sure to subscribe and join the conversation. Share your Porsche thoughts or comedic takes in the comments. Who knows? Maybe you'll find your watch